Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here, and it is 8:34 a.m. EST. Got started a little bit late today. Had some stuff overnight caused what we could say is a technical issue. We'll call it that. How's that? So pretty crazy stuff yesterday from Bitcoin though. And we also just got some news from the economic indications as well. The economic data announcements are throwing the markets into quite a tizzy, but it looks like it's going to be temporary. So first of all, let's take a quick look at what happened with Bitcoin yesterday because this was absolutely wild. Big move down. And any of us who have been in a bull market before, we know that these moves happen. This is not a big surprise to us, but anybody who's new in crypto might have had to change their shorts because Bitcoin moved down 12% and it did it very quickly. It did it in about 10 hours. And as a matter of fact, if you go down to a lower time frame, you'll find that much of this move happened in minutes. Minutes, I tell you. So Bitcoin broke above the vaunted 100,000 level, the level that everybody's been looking at for quite a long time. And when it did, of course, a lot of people got very excited. And when that happens, you get people who, may enter the market that hadn't thought about entering before. And so what they'll do is they'll just go for it. And they might not even think a lot. Even your experienced traders might make some mistakes. And Bitcoin started to kind of come down a bit here. And this started on Thursday in the morning. So yesterday morning. Now, come Thursday at about 4:30 p.m., right after the market had closed, it was all very quiet, which is usually when the big moves happen, by the way. Just a big clue for you. You'll notice that Bitcoin moved down, and it moved down a total of 9%. And it did so in a period of 5, 10, 15. So what is this from? Like 3 hours. And it moved, let's drop down to a lower time frame because I think it moved down about 6 or 7% in minutes, like a minute or two. Let's go ahead and just take a look at that because that's really interesting. There were billions of dollars liquidated yesterday in longs. I want to say it was like 2 point something billion. I have it written down and I'll see if I can grab the data for you. But this move right here, the move that really liquidated everybody, that caused the most damage in the futures markets, that cost billions and billions of dollars, that move took 1, 2, 3 minutes. Price went down 7.68% in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. That means that just think about that. Bitcoin was up to what at the time 98,000. It had come down, went all the way down to $90,000, and it did it in 3 minutes. And the amount of longs that were liquidated, I wrote it down. Let's see. Where is it? 4.9 billion. $4.9 billion in longs were liquidated at one point. And I think that number went up. That was just a number that we had early on. You're talking about fortunes lost. Now, they were lost in the aggregate. So not one person lost that, but billions were lost. I mean, that is remarkable. And this is the kind of stuff that happens usually when the market gets like super slow and super quiet. It can happen. It'll happen in a very fast market too. But when everybody's kind of not trading, especially like, Thanksgiving or in the middle of the Super Bowl, or, just there's these kind of times when people really aren't doing a whole lot. They're not watching the market. They're not paying attention. And that's when you'll find that markets may go ahead and make a move that you just were not planning on. So give me 1 second here. Just need to handle something. Wrong chart. Okay. Let's see here. So the economic data that come out, we're going to move on to that now. We're going to just talk about that because that's just all there was to it. Just understand that these moves can happen in crypto. It's just part of the deal. It happens in stocks. It happens in everything. But crypto has a way of being extremely volatile. And this is why people like crypto, because of that kind of volatility. A lot of money can get made, in those type of moves if you know they're coming. Now, if you'll pay a bit of quick attention to one thing as far as this move is concerned. couple of things to point out. Now, I've told you what my algo looks like. You'll see the red and green tabs on the screen. I'm going to zoom in just a hair here so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. Now, you can see here where my algo said to get out of longs. You can see it here. It might be hard to see unless I zoomed in really well, but you see this exit longs. So my algo said for me to get out of those longs. I built that algo. I had it coded. So that's something to look at. And if you were on a lower time frame, which I don't I don't recommend for everybody, trading in a low time frame is not something that most people can do, mostly because of schedule conflicts. But my algo actually called that move, right? And what I have is an algo that tells you when to get in and when to get out. So the green tab says get in, and it said get in right here, like it was going to go higher, and everybody thought it would. And then it's not only said to get out, but it said to go short. Now, if I had actually entered that, because I was not watching at the time, right? And I do have it coded to auto trade. I didn't have it running on this exchange because there's issues auto trading with crypto right now. I have it auto trading on forex exchanges, but had I had it auto trading or had I been watching, I could have entered this trade. Let's go short. And I would have exited here when it said to exit. So I'm not talking about getting, all of this all the way down here, just when it said to exit. Let's see, my stop loss, let's be, conservative. I would have had about a 4-to-1, a 3.8 to 1. I could have gotten. Now, maybe not quite as good, maybe a 3.5, just to be conservative. And that's just doing what my algo said, right? So it's a solid algo, no doubt about that. Here's another one, a win from the algo that I built. And I'm not allowed to actually publish and sell this algo, unfortunately, because TradingView has some real strict rules on what types of algos you can publish and sell. But here's another one. And if I just did what the algo said, would have been a probably a 2-to-1, depending on how I set my stop, maybe a little bit less than a 2-to-1, but really quick. I mean, you're talking about in 20 or 30 minutes, a nice quick win. So. And then there's the other ones where it gets in and then it tells you to get out. You don't lose any money or you make a real small amount. There's other ones where, it's like that. But the trend, the big plays are really what make you the big money. And what I do is over at Algo Factory, if people will ask, hey, what does your algo say about this? Can you give me a chart with your algo on it? So yeah, sure, here you go. So, that's an option at Algo Factory, right? And I have some plans as far as that's concerned, try to make that algo available to everybody there. But unfortunately, it's just tricky. I got to talk to TradingView and see if I can get an exception on their rules for this. So that said, let's move on. We're going to take a look at the economic data before we move on. I'm going to take a couple extra minutes. Again, we started late, had a bit of a difficulty starting this morning. I try to be as punctual as possible, but this week has just really been brutal. We had some data come out for CAD and USD. So let me refresh the screen so we can actually see what the data were, what they said. It's a lot of employment data. Okay. Big numbers on the Canadian. The employment change, the gain in positions is twice as big as expected. So they got 50,000 jobs instead of 25,000. Right. That's big. The unemployment rate also went up just a little bit, barely moved the needle on that. The USD earnings were higher than usual, not that much higher, or I should say higher than expected, not that much higher though. The unemployment change was, we added a few jobs, not that big of a deal, maybe 5%. And the unemployment rate went up too. So interesting, we have unemployment rate going up and employment change, more jobs being added. Not sure how that works. We've talked about these numbers. There are people who say that these numbers are a bit fudged, that they're not real, and I'm okay with that. Just understand that, okay, fine, they're not real, right? Okay, what we do is we take a look at these numbers, we understand they affect the market, and then we trade them. Now, I don't trade the news. I use the news to know to stay out of the market, right? And then when the news is done, I'll look to take advantage of whatever volatility that news brought. So the news is kind of a way of me to know, okay, I need to stay out of the market until the news comes out, and then I'm going to take a look at the volatility and try to take advantage of it. This is funny. Lisa Gray, my friend Lisa, says it's all the Hawk Tuah girl's fault. Yeah, right. So that's an interesting story. A lot of people are covering it, and you're probably all getting sick of hearing about it. I will cover it briefly. What happened was the Hawk Tuah girl, what was her name? Haley something or other, Haley Welsh. She released a meme coin, and she released it in such a way where the people who owned most of it could just sell it. So the thing went up to like almost $500 million, and the insiders sold it. Now they're saying it's snipers, and those are basically robots that buy the coin super early. As soon as it's released, these robots buy it, and then they hold a lot of supply. They can tank it at the top. But the word is that they took a look at what's called bubble maps, where they can tell if these wallets are connected, and supposedly a lot of these wallets are actually connected, right? So that's a bit of a problem, meaning that it might be that it wasn't these snipers, or the snipers were not that big of a deal, and in fact this whole thing was kind of a scam to rob people, and it was set up to be so. If you're going to have a coin that has that much money going into it, what you're going to want to do is have a vesting so that people just cannot dump. You want to have it to where if you're going to do a crypto, first of all, it should have a purpose. It shouldn't just be a meme. If you're going to try to attract, you really shouldn't just do that kind of stuff anyway. But if you're going to attract billions of dollars, like, you want to make a business out of it, do, I don't know, some kind of streaming platform. Like $500 million could be invested to create something really, really cool. So just taking some stupid coin and stealing, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars from people, that's not going to go well. Somebody's going to go to jail. Even if you release a meme coin, I know guys who release meme coins, and like once it gets past maybe 10, $50 million, they talk about bringing in some utilities and making it a real coin with a real purpose. They let it go to $500 million, and they just took the money. So not looking good. Someone's going to see some jail time for that. So that's what the Haktua, reference is. I'm not going to cover it. Go look at the news for that. We do charts, and we find ways for people to exercise their algos. And come on to algofactory.tech. What you can do is learn how to build your own algo. So what I was showing you earlier, this algo, these tabs, I built that using a methodology that I teach people. Now, your algo will almost definitely look very different to my algo. You don't want to have the same algo. Mine has my personality imbued upon it. And in order to do this, it's not that hard. It's basic data science. I can teach this and have taught it to anybody of all education levels. And look, the meme coin thing, the Haktua girl, that's going to probably cause some major regulations to come into play for meme coins. Being able to play meme coins and your times 100 sol shitter coins, that's probably not going to last forever. Might even not last for long. And when that regulation comes down, you're not going to be able to gamble anymore. And even those who are gambling, I can almost guarantee you're losing money. You may as well come to Algo Factory and learn how to trade like an adult. So come on over, algofactory.tech, learn how to trade like a hedge fund pro, and never, ever forget.
Join us or die.